Hello, I'm Chris Hartwell, and welcome to the Heartbeat. Today we're going to be talking about Ang Lee's Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. Join me, will you? So, in Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, we meet fictional war vet Billy Lynn, who has just returned home from Iraq to be honored for his service. And as the film intercuts between his celebratory tour and his tour in the Middle East, he struggles to understand what it all means, why it's important, and to whom he owes his allegiance, life, and story. Now, to kick this review off, I must sadly confess that I neither saw this film in the much talked about 120 frames per second, nor even in 3D. But even with that said, and even without those very affecting elements, I can still unequivocally say this film was, in its writing, directing, cinematography, and acting, truly a one-of-a-kind, immersive, and inclusive experience. It's genuinely rare to encounter a film that so unapologetically wears its everything on its sleeve, that's so unashamedly bold and in your face. And for those reasons alone, I can confess now that it, at the very least, enraptured me, which shouldn't come as much of a surprise. It's director Ang Lee, with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Hulk, Brokeback Mountain, and Life of Pi, consistently proving that he can break new ground stylistically, narratively, and cinematically. And with Billy Lynn, again, he brought that same strong vision, seemingly completely unafraid to adapt a novel with what I'm sure were some pretty polarizing ideas. With that said, even as this film often heralded its creator's thoughts and feelings, in its best moments it also gave us, the audience, space to, at the very least, not know how we felt. And a huge part of that was newcomer Joe Alwyn, who, as Billy Lynn, really was designed for most of the film to act as this beautifully conflicted blank slate, on which we, the viewer, could project our own thoughts and opinions. And while on the subject of acting, I really must give credit to the entire ensemble, especially the young men who played the rest of Billy's Bravo team. Together, they just captured well a genuine sense of youth, naivete, and immaturity, as well as strength, bravery, and loyalty. And even while the casting of iconic comedians like Steve Martin and Chris Tucker was certainly done to further draw out this film's themes, I did find that their distinctive styles and energies also added to the film's unique and immersive style. And speaking of that style, the combat sequences in this film really were unlike anything I'd seen in a war film before. Whereas in a brilliant masterpiece like Saving Private Ryan, the filmmakers really attempted to emulate actual war photography, making us feel like it had been filmed by a 1940s camera and operator. Billy Lynn sought to completely remove from our minds that what we were watching was captured at all. It was just happening, and we were in the middle of it. And it wasn't just in the action sequences that Ang Lee really strove to tear down that screen that divided us from his story. Even without the 3D, I could just so clearly perceive in the way that he framed his shots and blocked his actors that he wanted us to feel a part of the entire experience, on that football field and in those conversations. There were numerous moments, for example, where he had his actors all but break the fourth wall, speaking as much to us as to those within the scene itself. Of course, in attempting to reach such great heights narratively, thematically, and stylistically, one does risk an even greater fall, and this film did fall, and did fall quite hard a few different times. So while there were certainly moments that I found visually distinct and inventive, there were also almost an equal number of moments that left me wanting more, which I'm sure was in large part due to what Ang Lee did on Life of Pi, crafting that film's transitions, color, light, and composition in such cohesive and brilliant ways. Of course, I'm not saying that every film needs to be that painterly or stylized. However, there were just enough interesting transitions and rainbowed spectacle in Billy Lynn that made it feel like it wanted to be. Pacing-wise, this film was also quite uneven, dragging in certain spots and sprinting in others. But where this film faltered most was in its clarity and consistency of theme and message, which, again, were always worn on its sleeve, a sleeve that was often pushed right out of the screen and held in our faces. And when a film wants to be that bold, clarity and consistency are that much more important. So on one hand, the film felt like it wanted to be a satire, a very pointed, at times spiteful critique of how we as a nation both trivialize and sensationalize something as destructive and horrible as war, distancing ourselves from or disrespectfully idolizing those that endure it. Which, handled well, could have been a very interesting and important concept to explore. But the problem was, this film also had a propensity to, in some really key moments, start trivializing and sensationalizing things itself, feeling heightened and saccharine in scenes that I really don't think were designed to feel that way. Which was a shame because, again, I felt like this film had some important ideas that it did, in moments, explore well, and it really did have a distinct artistic vision that, at times, I found truly captivating, but ultimately, all of those good elements were kind of just swallowed by an overall confused mess of a film. So, for all of those reasons, I will give Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk a 3 out of 5, and a heart, which, for those of you who are new to the channel, basically means that I, Chris Hartwell, like the film, sometimes in spite of its numerous flaws. Those are my thoughts, anyways, on Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. I would love to know what you guys thought of the film, though, so definitely comment below and let me know. Also, of his very eclectic filmography, which of Ang Lee's films is your favorite? I would love to hear all about it. And finally, please do subscribe. I'm going to continue to review films and television on this channel, and I would love for you to stay up to date on all of those things. But for now, I'm Chris Hartwell. This is The Heartbeat. Thank you for joining me.